All right, guys, it's time to have a big boy on the channel here. We're looking at the Hamilton Khaki Navy Frogman, otherwise known as, I don't know. It'll be in the description down below. I'm not going to ramble that off. But it is classified as a 46 millimeter. Whoa, hey, the thing just fell out. There's the price. It's basically $1,200 bucks, $11.95. Now, you can use a discount code at Mimo's Jewelry. I'll put a link down below in the description, and I'll show, again, I'll write down the discount code just in case you don't follow me here, but just use ROB20. Now, that doesn't mean 20% off. What that means is that's the code. If it's not the code, I'll put it down below. It might be random. I think it's ROB20. But, and it'll unlock the best discount you can potentially or possibly get at Mimo's. So we're evolving that, and I think we're going to try to get away from the ROB20 because a lot of people are going to think that it means 20% off. Anyway, let's talk about the watch. So from here to here, I measure 45.5 millimeter. That's just a little black. I got a little carried away with a magic marker. I know you're looking at that and you're thinking, Rob, what are you doing here? Clean your hands. It's a permanent marker thing. I don't know what. Just deal with it. So 45.5 millimeter is what I measure there. So yeah, whatever, 46. It's definitely going to be wider here. I didn't grab that measurement. I can because you might want to know. It's 53 millimeter. You need to not use that measurement. I mean, sure, it's a measurement, but we don't ever measure that side to side with the crown. So I'm just throwing that in as a bonus. The lug to lug, 51.5 millimeter. I told you it was a big boy. Only 13.8 millimeter thick for this size watch. I think that's fairly thin. Keep in mind, like a Seiko SKX is 13.5 millimeter. So it's really just slightly thicker than a SKX, but it's more spread out. So it's going to wear good on wrist. Double dome sapphire crystal with AR coating. 22 millimeter lug width here. Love the case shape of the lugs here integrated into the bracelet. Not integrated, but the way it almost seamlessly goes into the bracelet. The fitment on it is so good. It looks like it belongs there, engineered, designed, however you want to say it. Oftentimes bracelets and links mating to the case looks a little off, but this one, perfect. Bracelet tapers down to 20 millimeter, and it uses a pin and tube system here. So if you size it, when you push the pin out, there's going to be a little collar, if you will. So pay attention to that. Fully milled out clasp, only 2 micro adjust on this, oddly enough. And being that it is a serious 300 meter water depth rated diver, no micro adjust. Interesting. But I think you can get a rubber strap for this if you want to take it into the depths of the sea with your scuba gear or whatever. I don't know. Does anybody even do that? I know there's, I'm going to say that and people are going to be like, I dive with my watches all the time. It's very small percentage actually use these watches for what they're capable of doing. So inside this watch is it's the Hamilton H10, otherwise known as the ETA, because Hamilton is part of the Swatch Group, so they're going to have access to the ETA movements. It's an ETA CO7.611. It is an 80-hour power reserve, semi-anti-magnetic, I think probably up to 4,800 amp meters or something, and it beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour. You can see the seconds hand sweeps, but there's, ticks. So you're going to see the ticks a little bit more than you would on what a 4 hertz movement would be, but they slowed it down a little bit. It adds in reliability, accuracy, and definitely power reserve of 80 hours. So that's why that's done. 60 click bezel here, all metal. It has like a metal bezel insert. Nice, snappy 60 click. I'm a fan of 60 click bezels when they're snappy like this. I really enjoy them. That ZRC I just had on, very snappy. Tudor's, very snappy 60 click, and this one's right up there too. Very audible, very snappy, zero play, solid lined up bezel. Let's zoom in a little bit. We'll take a look at the dial and handset. You can see you have a textured black dial there with the Hamilton printing on there. Automatic 300 meters, and I love the handset. Super polished with a little bit of brushing off the tail end there, and I love the orange framed minute hand. I'm always a fan of a pop of orange. They gave me double down on this with the minute hand and the arrow tipped seconds hand, plus a little bit of reddish orange printing down below. Didn't overdo it. They could have wrote Frogman. They could have wrote a bunch of other stuff on there. They didn't. Kept it simple. Automatic 300 meter. I like it. It's clean, Swiss made down at the bottom. Nice applied indices, 12 Arabic up top. Crown system, very interesting crown system. It is a screw down crown, obviously, but you have this guy here, and you're looking at it going like, well, how am I supposed to undo that 9mm crown when this thing's blocked in? Well, it's not really blocked in. So as you unscrew it, it actually pulls. This is just a really nice crown guard that's going to stop the shear potential of the crown, but it follows the crown out. So there you go. You can see it just follows it out. So it's not going to stop you from unscrewing the crown or not screwing it in or anything like that, but it's going to add that extra protection against potentially damaging the crown stem assembly and the movement and the watch. Should have pretty good lume on this too. I think Hamilton's done a pretty good job improving that. There's also a smaller, it doesn't look exactly like this, but it's really clean looking. There's a 40mm version. I'm going to get a hold of Mimo or wherever I can get one from and get that sent in. There's a couple different colorways. I'm very interested to see that watch. Because although the 46, there's a ton of guys out there with like bigger wrist or you just prefer larger watches. As you can see, 7¼ inch wrist, I could easily pull this watch off. Would I buy this watch? No, I would buy the 40mm. But if I had like a 7¾ inch wrist or an 8-inch wrist, I'm playing around with the big boys because they look more normal on my wrist. Or maybe I just prefer a large watch, which in this stage of the game, I don't prefer a large watch. But it definitely makes a statement. It has a lot more presence, for sure. So if you like large watches, definitely check out this Hamilton. Like I said, it's $1,200. It's a lot of money, but discounts get you the deal. Get it from an authorized dealer that's trusted. I'm just saying you're going to have that after sales support just in case. Not that there's any problems with these. I've heard of 0 problems with these H10 movements. Excellent lume. Very BGW9-ish looking. I don't know if that's what they use, but it has a really nice cool blue look to it. Very bright. I did cheat a little bit and give it a blast. But legit, Hamilton's improved, and they know that if they're going to put out a diver watch now, that they have to put lume on it. Somebody over there is listening, and they are accommodating us. So there is a look at the 46mm Frogman from Hamilton. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next video.